Speaking of another 5-star film, we have this movie called The Lair. Did you notice there's no real
dead silence?
What is that? The dead silence. There is no. Should I insert a cheering sound when I say 5-star banger for The Lair? I don't know. The Lair is, look, it's in theaters on demand and I believe on digital on October 28th. By the way, I forgot to mention, Please Baby Please is in theaters October 28th. My bad on that. But The Lair, on demand, digital, in theaters Friday. This is a movie I may disagree with Eric Holmes and Bruce Purkey. It's directed by the Descent filmmaker, Neil Marshall, and it's headlined by, it's headlined by Charlotte Kirk. She is the lead in this movie. I believe she was the lead in Neil Marshall's previous movie. I think it was called The Reckoning. But anyways.
Also co-wrote it.
And she's also very good, Eric. She's also the co-writer. She and Neil wrote this movie. And here is the plotline. When Royal Air Force pilot Lieutenant Kate Sinclair, again played by Charlotte Kirk, is shot down over Afghanistan, she finds refuge in an abandoned underground bunker where deadly man-made biological weapons, half human, half alien, I think that's a spoiler, but that's a plot synopsis there. What can we say? Where half human, half alien are awakened within this bunker. That is a plot. It also stars Jonathan Howard and Jamie Bamber. You might know Jamie Bamber from his work in Battlestar Galactica. The running time is 97 minutes. I'm going to reserve my judgment on The Lair. I don't know what Eric and Bruce will think I thought about The Lair. Let's start with Bruce Purkey. Your thoughts on Neil Marshall's latest film, The Lair.
Well, it's better than the other Afghanistan Yeti movie that we saw, though these aren't Yetis. These are, but it's not as good as the most recent Resident Evil movie we saw, and this is kind of a Resident Evil movie as well, which is Project Wolf Hunting. But yeah, Project Wolf Hunting now. See, that's the problem. So we see a movie like Project Wolf Hunting, which is kind of this over the top. There's violence and craziness and action and all this stuff, but it's
blood.
And it's so stylish. And this movie, it looks like it has a pretty decent low budget. Like, it's not high budget, obviously, but they have some practical stuff. They have some creatures. They have some pretty decent sets. They have a lot of actors, but boy, oh boy, did this just leave my brain as quick as it went into it. It was just wholly unremarkable to me. I mean, it didn't anger me, but it really didn't do much for me. It was just like, every time there'd be like a cool idea, they wouldn't really do anything with it. You see things in tanks. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Oh, they just break out of the tanks. Like, oh, okay. They break out of the tanks. That's it. And then there's another scene where we look into a portal and see something behind there. I'm like, what's that thing? I want to know about that. Like, what is going on here? We don't ever find out what's going on there. It's really a lot more of kind of just low rent aliens, low rent, I guess, Predator kind of, low rent, like I said, Resident Evil. It's a lot of kind of tropey stuff, and it definitely feels like a little bit of a vanity project too.
Charlotte Kirk?
Yeah, Charlotte Kirk. And I'm sorry to say that, because I know that there's a lot of things. You hit me to a lot of the stuff behind her career and other stuff that's happened with her, which makes me, sympathize for sure with kind of stuff, what's gone in her life and her acting career. But this definitely doesn't seem like the role to break her out to me. It was unremarkable in every way, pretty much.
Unremarkable experience for Bruce Purkey. Unremarkable. Unfortunately, tragically, I've heard that a lot of my romantic relationships, supposedly, I get those unremarkable 1-star no banger for me. But Eric Holmes, what is your thoughts on The Lair? Do you agree with Bruce?
So the opening scene is really good. I was like, oh, this is going to be, right, we're getting back to Dog Soldiers, Neil Marshall. We're getting back to the Descent, Neil Marshall.
Right. Her plane gets shot down, okay, in the beginning, and then it has her.
Yeah, and then they go in the lair, and, it's all kind of creepy. I thought they were going to stay in there the whole time, and I kind of wish they did. They went back there, whatever, things happened. This movie probably could use a script supervisor, because there's a part where they're all shooting guns, and they're like, I'm out. And one person left's like, oh, I keep extra ammo on me. And then later on, it's like, I need a gun. And someone that literally just said they're out of ammo like 2 minutes ago said, oh, here you go. Here's a gun. So like they have stuff like that don't quite track. There's like a lot of problems, like, just really simple problems as far as like the writing and continuity goes. But I didn't really care. This movie's so kind of silly and stupid that I'm just kind of like, oh, cool. We're in an underground bunker and we're gonna run around and shoot these Resident Evil things. And I just kind of went with it. I do agree with Bruce. It's not quite as good as Project Wolf Hunting, because I think that's a little more thoughtful in terms terms of shoring up all those loose ends that are so rampant in the Lair. But I just had a lot of fun with the Lair. Hey, look, if people are allowed to watch superhero movies and forgive them all their eccentricities and mistakes and everything, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a superhero movie. Well, you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just an underground Resident Evil movie, and that's kind of where I'm at with that. It's not a good movie, but I had fun with it, so that's why I'm going 3-star banger on this.
3-star banger. Wow. Bruce, what is your rating on The Lair?
I can't quite go there. I'm gonna say 2-star.
2 stars.
Also
Bruce.
fair. Also fair.
Also star. There's
I didn't have as much fun with it. Honestly, that's the reason.
Yeah, The Lair. My goodness. Again, directed by Neil Marshall, co-written with Charlotte Kirk and Neil Marshall. Eric has mentioned script supervisor. He gave it 3-star banger. This movie at 97 minutes. Charlotte Kirk, possible vanity project. I ate this movie up, hook, line, and sinker. I love the bleeping SHIT out of this movie. There's a line where it's so obvious where Charlotte Kirk mentions the movie The Dirty Dozen, and this reminded me of a modern day version of, I know it's sacrilege to say this, but it reminds me of the director Robert Aldrich's classic The Dirty Dozen, headlined by Lee Marvin and Jim Brown. It has this B-movie level feel to it. There's a section which I'm sure Bruce and Eric didn't like, where they go back to base. It's these American soldiers, and they're on base, and slowly but surely you get to know a little bit about the troops in here, the Americans, and also I believe there's some British soldiers who come in as well. You get to know each of these people, and then there's an attack on the base, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then they go into the bunker or the lair, and I thought that was pretty cool too. So I think, just to be honest, I had a great time. I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority with the Lair. I had a really good time. I was fine with Charlotte Kirk at the end. There is without giving too much away, there is possibilities, and I don't think it'll happen. There is possibilities for a follow-up to the Lair, a continuation of the story. I would love that. I would love a continuation of the Lair. I like the story. I like the people who were involved in this. I think Charlotte Kirk is really good in this. Jonathan Howard's good as well. Jamie Bamber chewing the scenery as the guy with the eye patch. I think he's really good in this. He's doing an accent. He's sporting an accent. I don't know. It's a southern accent, and I don't know. I just had a good time watching this movie. Again, listeners, you may castigate me or get really, really mad at me for saying how much I love the Lair. 2 stars for Bruce. Eric Holmes gives it a 3-star banger. I give this movie 4.5 stars. I was crazy about the Lair. I know, Bruce.
Wait.
4.5
stars. You gave this the same rating as Please Baby Please. I'm just checking in with you there.
Look, folks, please, baby, please, listeners. Yeah, please, listeners, please go see the Lair. So that's what
our star rating is already fucked up as it is, probably mostly due to me, and I apologize for that.
No, don't apologize.
Actually, I take it back.
I would like to propose a new star rating specifically for this movie. Instead of 3-star banger, B-movie banger.
B-movie banger. Yes, Bruce. Sorry.
I just want to say, Greg, I think you might be the only person that would give both, because I have a really strong hunch that people that love the Lair will not love Please Baby Please, and vice versa.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yes, you're right. It's two different. And look, my tastes are all over the place for some reason. Look, and again, this is going to get really bad reactions from Eric and Bruce. I still have not seen The Descent, so I know probably I'd give The Descent 5 stars just based on the principle of that being supposedly Neil Marshall's best movie. But I'm liking what I've seen from the Lair. Eric Holmes mentioned one of Marshall's previous movies, Dog Soldiers. After watching this, I want to see more of Marshall's work. That said, Bruce, are you a fan of Marshall's work, or is The Descent that one movie of his that you really, really liked? I believe other movies he did. I think he did a movie called Centurion. I think Dog Soldiers, The Reckoning,
Doomsday.
Yeah, I think to me, Dog Soldiers is his best. The Descent is his second best, and then Doomsday, I think, could be a 3-star banger in some worlds, because it's really weird and crazy too. For me, I think I find that more fun than this movie, but I think they're equal quality. So I don't think I've seen anything else other than the Lair.
Why Neil Marshall? I wouldn't say huge fan base, but a select group really love his films. Why is that? Is it because of that Descent aesthetic that he puts in his movies, or do you guys have
I think he got a lot of goodwill with Dog Soldier and Descent. And then I know for me, after Doomsday, like I saw Doomsday, I liked it, I didn't love it, and then I think Centurion came after that, and I kind of fell off. But then he was doing a bunch of TV Like he's been doing TV. Like I think he worked on Hannibal. And Hannibal, like if you've never seen the TV show Hannibal, holy shit, that TV show's awesome.
Okay,
and
cool.
of course they cancel it because that's what they do. The TV doesn't know how to end itself. It just cancels midstream. But yeah, when I saw that Neil Marshall had a new one, and I think that might have informed like a lot of my enjoyment of this because I was just like on board to love a Neil Marshall movie again.
Yes.
And so I was just like, oh yeah, that doesn't make sense, but it's okay. You're my son, and I love you. You'll be good. So I was very kind to this movie, but I still had a great time. So I really didn't care.
And last but not least, okay, again, Eric 3-star banger, Bruce 2 stars, and me 4.5 stars for the Lairs in theaters, digital, and on demand, October 28th, Friday, October 28th.